Meanwhile, at the Jorvik Viking Center.
What's the Thala? So what's that weird instrument that the actual Viking musician is playing there? I actually have one right here. It's called a lyre, and you can't trust a word it says. Actually, the word lyre comes from the Greek word for an instrument, basically this kind of instrument, but a Greek variation of it. The Old English and Old Norse word would have been something like harpa, pronounced very similar to each other in both languages, spelled slightly different. However, modern musical categorization of instruments tends to separate harps from this. And the reason for that is because harps that most people think of, the strings are perpendicular to the soundboard, while in this, with the soundboard right here and the strings right here, they're very much parallel to one another, making it structurally a bit of a different instrument. The lyres of the late antiquity and early medieval period, particularly of Germanic cultures, tended to look a lot like this, with 6 or 7 strings. And the interesting thing about this is, like a harp, whatever note you tune that string to, that's the note it plays. You're not using any kind of fretting like in a guitar to change the note at all. Which means, with only 6 or 7 strings, you only have 6 or 7 notes that you can play. This seems like a limitation, but it's actually kind of interesting in how it plays out, because with only 6 or 7 notes, you can tune this to particular scales. Thanks to modern music theory, we're very familiar with the idea of harmonic notes. Basically, some notes sound sour when played next to each other, and other notes sound really nice when played next to each other. I'm sure there's a mathematical reason that somebody can put in. I'm not the person for that. But anyway, due to harmonic notes existing, you can tune a lyre to have pretty much every single string be a harmonic note to one another. The most common scale that most people might tune to being a pentatonic scale. There are only 5 notes, and every single note is harmonic to the next. And with a pentatonic scale, you would have 5 independent notes, and then the last string would be the same note as the first. This is, however, tuned to G diatonic, which has a lot of the same advantages in which every string is harmonic to the next. What that means is it's actually really hard to play a sour note on this thing, which is great for composition. You can just kind of figure something out, and it's also really good for improvisation. It also means that if you have a concept of rhythm, even if you're not really musically talented, as long as you can pluck something rhythmically, it sounds nice. And it's thought that this might be kind of intentional. The story that is recorded thanks to Bede of Caedmon's hymn, it's suggested that in Anglo-Saxon society that people would be passing these instruments around as a form of entertainment, just improvising music, suggesting that the average person could be expected to just play something kind of pretty-ish as a form of just entertaining each other. So it's quite possible that the limited number of strings is very intentional to make it really hard to mess up and really easy to play. It is, in a way, a really good bullshitter's instrument, and you should try it.